Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. This will be the final training to level 200 video. We leveled every class in the game to level 200 and some even twice. The entire series is available as a playlist if you want to check it out. To wrap up this series though, we saved the best for last, the Explorer Warrior class Paladin. We're playing in the Reboot server today. These are my Link skills and this is my Legion. After getting sent away from Maple Island, we talk to dances with Balrog and become warriors. We speed through the first few levels by defeating the Mushmon bosses. Not too long ago, warriors received a new attack in first job called Leap Attack. If you press the attack and down key, you will leap downwards, dealing damage twice. Warriors are light as a feather early on, so almost anything will knock you up. If you time this attack right, you can use it right away. Any amount of airtime is enough to use this attack, so even monster knockbacks. Besides that, we get our classic warrior skills like Iron Body, which bolsters our defenses and HP, and Warrior Mastery, which is another passive skill that increases your speed, jump, max HP and knockback resistance, as well as a double jump and your slash attack slash blast. But that second job advancement is what we're really here for. Finally, we become pages, master of the elements and hammers. We learn our first two elemental attacks, Flame Charge and Blizzard Charge. You know, pages are very upfront about their skill set, because you know right away if you're gonna like this class or not. Don't like the looks or functionality of Flame Charge and Blizzard Charge? Well, then I have bad news, because your other two elemental attacks will look and do almost exactly the same, and that's what you'll be using for most of the time, even when bossing. Of course there are other amazing attacks, but this is your core skill set. Using their refined knowledge of elements, pages utilize the elemental charge skill. Every time a different element is used, the page gains a stack, increasing their damage, potion recovery rates and status resistances while reducing their damage taken. Pages are tanky boys, and a fully charged elemental charge buff helps them a ton during boss fights. Your flame charge will set monsters on fire, and if you then attack them with the blizzard charge skill, you'll deal additional damage as well. Your attacks don't have the biggest range though, but you can use your skill close combat to pull monsters in and stun them. I was planning to actually skip team dungeons, but when we are streaming, Twitch chat is allowed to ban certain things, and they banned me from training anywhere that isn't a team dungeon. But thankfully those bans only last 4 minutes, so after a short detour, we went to the Boros Empyrean and eventually reached level 60 at the Skeledogs in the excavation site. Reaching third job, we instantly master another element. This time we're able to use a lightning attack that either stuns enemies or leaves a damage over time buff if the monster is not stunned. And if monsters were previously afflicted by the slow from Blizzard Charge, we deal increased damage as well. Third job paladins are unfair honestly. No class should be allowed to get this many amazing skills, but of course the paladin, the class that stands on top of all classes, gets those skills. Thanks to paladin's shield mastery, there's a 40% chance to just guard attacks, and not just any attack, every attack. Even instant death skills can be guarded. And you don't even need to have a shield equipped, just a secondary is fine as well, even though a shield is preferred. So yeah, this class is pretty tanky. Yep, but what if I told you that the Divine Shield passive skill can also block up to 10% HP attacks? Surviving bosses is a walk in the park for this class. Your toggle on off skill, Parashock Guard, gives your party members a 20% chance to guard as well, for the small price of losing some defense and chance to guard yourself. This actually saved my Demon Slayer from dying so many times when I was bossing with my fiancé, her Paladin. But it doesn't stop there, no, we're just scratching the surface. So survivability is good and all, but bosses have a lot of defense and attack, which is annoying. The threaten skill lowers this though by a considerable amount, and there is no delay on this debuff. So even though it only has a 75% chance to work, you just hold down the skill key until it does. Reducing bosses' attack and defense can be very useful, so make sure to bring a pally to your boss party and maybe increase their flame a little bit, just for them being a paladin. Paladins also get the third job skill Combat Orders. This skill is so good that Nexel made it into a potential line and a 5th job Nodestone, but Paladins just casually get it at 3rd job. This skill increases all skill levels by 2, which might not be the most exciting skill in 3rd job, but this skill increases all skills past their max level in 4th job. Paladins are generous gods though, so everyone in the party will get the same buff when you use combat orders, making your 4th job attacks stronger, buffs last longer and passive effects increase in effectiveness. It is a really powerful skill to have. The passive skill Achilles reduces incoming damage by 30%. Ha, imagine taking damage as a paladin. And in case a monster does actually manage to hurt you, you don't block it or anything like that, the skill HP recovery will heal you back up 50% of your max HP. But if you use the skill again after a short while, the effect will be diminished. Still though, even clerics can spam their heal skill, but this skill you can just keep holding down, absolutely broken. It only works on yourself though. And finally there is Rush, which is a classic warrior skill that pushes monsters in a direction and rushes you forward, and the skill Upwards Charge, which can be used by using your regular attack and the up key. This gives warriors the ability to jump upwards. Now, I'm not saying paladins are absolutely the best class or anything, but can a nimble thief like, let's say, an assassin jump upwards, or slide like Rush? Nah, they can only double jump, so not only are paladins more tanky, they also have more mobility than even some thief classes. I talked a bit too much about the skills, so let's rewind for a second to when we were level 80. Paladins don't deal a lot of lines of damage, and some might say they even feel a bit weak. But did you know that if you're training a paladin, you just have to make use of your elements? Many monsters in MapleStory have elemental advantages and disadvantages, and because the paladin has access to almost every element available in the game, you can use this to your advantage. Looks like you'll deal around 50% more damage with an element that monsters are weak to. For example, Fire Charge deals a lot more damage than Lightning Charge to these monsters, because they're weak to fire, and if a monster is strong to a certain element, just use a different one. While training, I suddenly had a blast of nostalgia and went to see if Rombot was home. He was, so I took care of him, and then we head back out and finished training to level 100. 4 job is here, and oh boy, here we go again. We unlock the final charge element, Holy, with the skill Divine Charge. I usually use this skill in combination with Lightning Charge when training, or any other attack if the monsters are weak against a certain element. For example, the birds here are weak against ice attacks, and dual ghost pirates are weak against fire. So no worries about your damage, you'll deal plenty. The Advanced Charge skill increases the amount of lines in your attack, as well as your damage per elemental charge and attack power. Paladins get 100% stance, a revive skill that can not only revive a nearby party member, but they also are invincible for 10 seconds. Oh, and after using it, you'll also become invincible for 10 seconds, because why not? The Elemental Force buff increases your final damage and passively buffs all your charges except for Divine Charge. Paladins can remove buffs from bosses and prevent them from casting more buffs with Magic Crash. They get a short cooldown Massive Hammer attack. This skill also gives super stance, but it is quite hard to time. And Paladins get a bossing skill called Blast that only hits one monster and uses the elemental attribute of the last used elemental attack. Heaven's Hammer really helps speed up training. There is a passive hyper skill for this skill that cuts its cooldown down to 10 seconds. Make sure to use it often, it really speeds things up. This character was trained to level 200 last week, so I also made use of the anniversary event swimming lane as well to get some additional level ups. Now, there is a reason why I call this character iframe, and that's because of our first active skill, Sacrosanctity, I think that's how you pronounce that. This skill makes you invincible for 30 seconds, and this is where Paladins their true potential lies, because it can be used in jump quests. So not only must you have this class in any party, you can also easily run through any jump quest. Truly, this is the best class. The level 160 hyper skill is called Smite Shield, which not only deals a good amount of damage and has decent range, it stuns as well, so again it's amazing to use when fighting bosses. Finding a cooldown rune is actually really insane on Paladins. Spamming Heaven's Hammer and Smite Shield just left and right is actually insane for map clearing. Trading a Futureperion was really easy as well. Those Swollen Stomps are weak against fire attacks, and the monsters in Forsaken Excavation Site 2 are weak to lightning and fire, so trading in these maps should be extra easy for Paladins. With their 5th job unlocked, Paladins really become even more amazing. Yeah, I didn't know that was possible either, but hey, here we are. Those spinning hammers around you are a part of the 5th job skill called Hammers of the Righteous. They are passively created whenever you gain a stack of elemental charge. They spin around you and deal damage. Using the skill will make your small hammer a big hammer. You can just jump around and watch the monsters around you die. If monsters are on other platforms or a bit further away, the skill Mighty Mjolnir might be very useful. This skill has 2 charges. You can use it to throw a hammer that will bounce around between enemies. You'll get a new hammer every 15 seconds and there is a 2.5 second cooldown between throwing them. This skill makes Paladins really decent at mobbing at higher levels actually. Paladins also take a page out of the Thief book. Those Shadow Partner skills are really fun and all, but instead of mimicking your own attacks, the Paladin, like the true Chad that he is, makes other characters mimic his attacks. The skill Divine Echo links the Paladin to another party member, and when the Paladin uses an attack, it will pop out at the linked character as well. Not only will this buff give the Paladin a ton of final damage, the linked character can also get that iframe skill Sacrosanctity or whatever it's called, I just give up on how to pronounce that, when it's used by the Paladin. Of course, sharing is caring, now two people can have that insane iframe. It doesn't last as long for the linked character though, but hey, still free iframe. There's just one more thing that we're missing though in the Paladin kit, and that's burst damage. But this wouldn't be a Paladin if there was no burst damage skill. The skill Grand Guardian doesn't actually guard anything. This is a key down skill that has this cross pop out, dealing an insane amount of burst. All hits on this attack are crits and ignore 100% of the enemy defense. And after using it for a few seconds, the cross will grow in size, dealing even more and faster damage. And while holding this skill down, all incoming damage is reduced by 50% as well, just to make you even safer when bursting. Now, while Paladins don't deal the most damage, they're definitely one of the safest classes to play. Once you reach 5th job, their mobbing isn't too bad either, and their usefulness in boss parties is actually insane. And that was the final class that we had to train to level 200 for this series. In case there are some bigger class revamps coming up, I might redo some of these videos. But for now, this was it. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to get level 200 on every single class. And as always, many thanks to our members for making videos like this possible. Thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian Hanoy, FLX, Ryaiser, Terry Kim, Jiju, Ryaiser, Aryu, Drisumker, Plux, Wiley, Francisco Sousa, History Cannon, Backspace, OTI, CMAC, Safronix, Lonzo, BG Extremes, Anwar, NHI, Brandon, Frank Bouquet, Ziggy Deer, Flidiot, Beamer WT, Knifesu, Chen125, Pinky Traveler, Cloudflix, Gussus Roderiguez, Sir QQ Morse, Gummy Bones, Sir Tito655, Grayson Lee, and Vanishua. If you would like to be mentioned here as well and get early access to new videos, make sure to check out that join button below this video. Thank you all so much for watching, stay safe, and happy mapling!